And it could be me, and it could be thee.
Henderson Court, North London, where Age UK run a day centre and the people who use it talk honestly about what it can be like getting older, being on your own.
I'm not saying there are no virtues, but I do feel lonely sometimes.
They don't help the young folks.
If you haven't got a family like I haven't, it is a bit hard to talk to people about your life, yes.
Cold beds, lonely beds, and loneliness, lack of companionship.
Everyone talks a good game when it comes to older people. We all respect them, we all think they deserve the very best, and politicians are no different. So, how come for so many, old age can often mean isolation and loneliness?
Each and every lonely person has someone who could visit them and offer companionship. A forgotten million who live amongst us, ignored to our national shame.
It is something politicians are taking on board. This was Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt last week. But even his former ministerial colleagues wonder whether his approach is the right one.
Well, I thought his analysis was spot on, but I thought his move to a blame game of effectively saying that families were letting their grandparents and their parents down by not providing support missed the fact there are 6 million carers in this country. And I know from some of the emails and blogs that I've read since that speech, they are in despair, they are outraged by a speech that implies in some way they're not doing enough.
And while there is a balance to be struck, there's also a cost to being a compassionate society politicians and the public aspire to be.
There's no doubt there's a lot that we can all do as individuals to support older people, but there's also a lot that politicians can do. In particular, they need to join up the dots between talking about loneliness, isolation on the one hand and making hard choices about where they put their money on the other. They need to invest in those low-level local facilities like luncheon clubs and day centres. They make a huge difference to older people.
But perhaps a big part of the problem isn't how we treat older people, it's how we think of them.
What if you had any children?
We need to start challenging some of the negative stereotypes about ageing and older people. The ones that portray older people as a burden, as ticking time bombs that are going to explode under the NHS. The reality is that older people contribute to our economy far more than they cost our economy. They are a valuable resource. Their wisdom and their talents should be better tapped. That's one of the ways in which we can tackle social isolation and loneliness. And it's why I think we need a commissioner to be a bit of a Rottweiler, chasing government and making sure government is doing what's necessary to age-proof this country and look after the interests of older people.
Dignity, security, companionship. Who wouldn't want them for our older people? To make them happen, though, takes deeds, not words, from all of us.